Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, what is up? The king of lightning is here today, bringing you guys and gals Hunter x Hunter, the glory that be Hunter x Hunter chapter 360 review. Now, first of all, two things. Number one is that because of a copyright strike, and normally this video is going to be over 15 minutes, odds are is that I'm going to do part 1, part 2, and possibly a part 3. We'll see how it goes. That's number one. Number two is, here we go. So, unfortunately, the glory that be Hunter x Hunter, the magnificent Togashi Yoshihiro, has decided to take another break. And Hunter x Hunter is now going on another indefinite hiatus. Now, what I want to see is him take a year off, or maybe 6 months. That'll be, okay, fine, 6 months. That to me would be pretty cool compared to what is the usual trend of hiatuses. But 6 months to a year off, you come back, you do 7 to 10 more chapters, and then you repeat that for a few times, and then give it over to somebody else. Like, the lion's share of the work should be done by somebody else. Togashi, physically and mentally, he can't handle it. Let someone else do it for him. Either that happens, or eventually the series gets scrapped. Honestly, if Togashi cannot physically and mentally handle being a mangaka for long periods of time, like for an entire year, then I would highly recommend someone taking the reins for him. Let someone else take care of the lion's share of work that would consist of being a mangaka on a weekly basis. That's what I want to see, in all honesty. But who knows? I mean, maybe there's a fear that someone would change the story too much from what Togashi intends the story to be if that person took over. That could be a risk as well, but at the same time, at least the story would finish. At least it would get to an end point. The way things are now, Togashi is never going to finish Hunter x Hunter. I am confident when I say that, and that is very unfortunate. But given the current trend, odds are it's not going to be 6 months to a year. Odds are it's going to be like 2.5 to 3 years. So potentially speaking, I'll see you guys in 2019. 2019, potentially speaking. So, folks, let us focus on this chapter of Hunter x Hunter. And then I will see you guys when I see you guys. So, and hopefully there's more content coming out for Hunter x Hunter. I want to see something else. Like, let's say an OVA of, like, the beginning of this whole Dark Continent arc with Beyond the Terror. I would, ooh, yeah. Oh, that would be something that I could enjoy when it comes to Hunter x Hunter material while waiting for Togashi to come back. So, that being said, though, let's focus on this chapter. Now, number one, we have the characterization. And the only thing for characterization, the one and only thing, in all honesty, is Prince Wogel. Now, according to Kurapika, there is a possibility that because, and they found out that the ritual took place, and now Prince Wogel has a Nen beast, or a Nen parasitic beast, that act independent, which I'll get to real soon in this chapter review. You have the Nen parasitic beast, they or it is inside Prince Wogel, and because Prince Wogel is a baby, Prince Wogel of course cannot hone her Nen. However, she can react instinctively to her mother. So if her mother, if Oito is anxious, or if she's in fear of her life or of Wobo's life, Wobo herself can react instinctively, and then the Nen beast can even attack friends. So I said before that since Prince Wobo is a baby, the Nen beast that Prince Wobo has probably cannot be controlled fully. And we find out that it is a category known as parasitic Nen beast. So this, of course, is even more reason as to why Prince Wobo can't control her Nen beast. So again, you have this, and you have her instinctively react to her mother's emotions. So if Oito is not calm, cool, and collected, that Nen beast that Prince Wobo has, or those Nen beasts, can go rampant. And that is a major threat to Kurapika and his company right now. So that is it for characterization. Because here's the thing. You have the 3 other main bodyguards. You have, I think the one guy's name is Sairi, the guy who at the end of the chapter gets controlled by that one weird rat bear thing. Then you have the other dude who has like the Vegeta-ish hair, who was talking to Kurapika and Oito to the side. Then there's a third guy who was probably dead because he got stabbed by the first guy. So the Vegeta hair dude, he does get some characterization, but in all honesty, these guys aren't really relevant. Like, I mean, one of them is dead, and the other one is going to be either contained by Kurapika soon or get killed by Kurapika. Not too sure. The fact of the matter here is that Wobble is very relevant to what's happening in the story right now, whereas those three guys, they seem to be just cannon fodder right now, but we'll have to wait and see. So, characterization, that's it for the entire chapter. Now, when it comes to the pacing and the structure-wise, obviously, it is fairly hefty, given the amount of dialogue, but what I did find was that the pacing, it didn't make leaps in the story because it's focused mainly on who is the bad guys, finding the bad guys amongst their unit, then seeing the Nen parasitic beast around him, and then after that it is more so him, the Vegeta hair dude, and Oito talking amongst themselves about what's going on and how to make sure that Oito is still safe and what's Kurapika's true goals. Then after that, it is the other guy, Sairi, whatever his name is. And then what happened? Well, he gets controlled apparently. He stabs the one bodyguard who was like among their trio. Then you have the other two that were not a part of their clique, but they wound up getting stabbed anyway, and they're probably dead. And that's really it. So when it comes to the overall pacing, it doesn't really make that many leaps into the story, but nonetheless, the chapter structure is heavy on the dialogue. That is no surprise there, honestly. And then finally, the story progression. I mean, come on now. We have Nen parasitic beasts, which I think is a new concept, because we knew that they were Nen beasts, but to find out that they're Nen parasitic beasts, and they act independent, that's, I think, relatively new, in all honesty. But we're still trying to figure out how they work specifically. So now here's what I'm going to take a look at the chapter step by step, and then we're going to go over everything. So incoming story progression. So first of all, in the chapter, we have the part where it is revealed that two of the bodyguards, they are in fact not allies of Prince Wobble. And it's explained why in full detail. And I'll read to you, but their appearance, one guy looks like pure Russian, and then the other guy looks like an angry Asian dude. I mean, that is the best way I can describe it. Regardless of that, let me read to you as to why they're not allies of Prince Wobble. And it's very fascinating because it involves the queens. Now, it starts off with the whole issue of the other bodyguards that were dead. And apparently there were 5 in total. Those bodyguards weren't even on Princess Wobble's side. And I quote, "The 5 dead, they were also not on Princess Wobble's side. No, they each served someone else. Prince Wobble had 7 guards assigned by the royal household. Why do you think there were 7? Kurapika thinks. Then he says, it's the number of queens besides Queen Oito. Yes, the queens are using the guards as informants to find out if the lower queens and princes are plotting a rebellion. The number of guards increases whenever another wife is added, but a lower queen is not allowed to spy on a higher queen and prince. So a lower queen gets a true guard only when there is a new queen lower in rank than she. Queen Oito, the lowest, hasn't even had the system explained to her yet. Our job is in fact to protect Prince Wobble, as long as it doesn't threaten the safety of our client and her prince. Get it? The succession battle changed everything. Now the very existence of the other princes is a threat." Now here you see how it works when it comes to the guards and the wives and how it's organized. So you have the 11th Prince Fugetsu, and then you have 2 guards chosen by Queen Seiko, and that is her biological mother, Fugetsu. Then you have another 5 guards, and these 5 guards are spies chosen by Queen Uma. She's the first queen. We haven't seen her yet in the story. In fact, you know what? We haven't even seen Queen Seiko either. But these 5 guards are chosen by Queen Uma through Swinko. And Swinko is the 5th wife of the King of Kaiken. The reason why Seiko has 2 guards and then has an additional 5 guards is because those 2 guards represent the 2 lower queens below her. So those 2 guards are Seiko's true guards. And then Uma, through Swinko, chooses the other 5 guards. Then we go down. 12th Prince Momose. So the 7th queen, the 7th wife of Kaiken is Queen Savant. And she has one true guard, and then she has 6 guards chosen for her. And those guards were chosen by Queen Uma. Again, it's always the first queen. It's the first queen who chooses these guards through the 6th queen. The queen we see above, the mother of Fugetsu, and I think her name is Macho. And then finally at the bottom, you see the 14th Prince Wobble. Then we have, of course, 7 guards for Prince Wobble. All 7 guards are spies that are chosen by Queen Uma through Savant, the 7th queen, the 7th wife of the King of Kaiken. So that is essentially the system. That's how it works when it comes to the bodyguards. It's fairly interesting, but we have more stuff to talk about here because we're not done yet. And I quote from Kurapika, "Did your client order you to assassinate Prince Wobble?" Then the guy says, no. Even the queen, and I think they mean the first queen, even the queen would be thrown into prison if she issued such an order. The succession battle doesn't mean the laws go out the window. Then Kurapika asks, "Didn't the king allow this?" Then the one Russian dude, he elaborates, "There wouldn't be any acquittal or pardon for murdering a prince. That's why we were doubtful until someone died. We thought this was a drastic measure taken to mollify the vicious relationship between the queens and princes. That the point was for the princes to come to understand the difficulties and risk of actually plotting assassinations. That's how serious a crime it would be. We thought it was unrealistic. But seeing that body and hearing about Nen, now we know the battle has begun. It just won't be carried out by us or private soldiers, but the princes themselves."